Okay, folks, we're going to go live here in a minute with Annette Grace. And it's not letting me go live. I do not understand. Add tags. Don't put third-party video ads in the video. Didn't do that. Use. Oh my goodness, where are we? It's not letting me go live.
Is it the same thing that happened with Mary Beth's?
Yep. All right, Tina, can you go on and just say we're having problems going live? We will post the interview. Can you just make a post on Facebook? Let me give it one last shot.
Technical difficulties.
I am just frustrated with Facebook. I do not know why they're not letting us do this.
There's that card. Don't touch anything.
We're going to try it one last time. I'm going to try it. Let's see. I had it just fine. I do not know what's going on.
Now this junk is making a video. So it's
All of this is being recorded for prosperity. Nope.
Oh.
You may have it. Hey, dear. As soon as I add the title, that's what it is. Okay, so we're not going to add a title.
Okay.
We're going to just, I finally figured it out. Son of a gun. Stop live stream. Okay, we're going, no. We just won't have a title in it. Every time I put a title in, it does wonky things. It says reach more people, so they're blocking it because we got so many views, I'm sure, that they blocked us unless we pay for it.
Bummer.
Okay.
We like free better.
Okay. Ready? Say that again.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Hey everyone, it's Michelle at Resident Essentials and Annette Grace. Hi Annette, how's it going?
It's going great today. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Are you getting as tired as I am for being cooped up in the house?
Well, my pants don't fit. Does that count?
Yes, for you. Thanks. Rub it in. Here's my wound. Put a little salt in there.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure there's a lot of us feeling our pounds right now. But that's okay. We don't mind. You always look fabulous. So, yay, you. You go, girl. You out there hiking and doing things alone, right?
Yep, trying.
So, you know, I have to apologize for the whole disarray of trying to get this interview up and going. And thank you for your patience. I finally figured it out. And thanks to you, we'll be able to do live the rest of the week. So, thank you. So tell us a little bit. I know you walked in, I can't even remember how long ago it was. We opened in October, so I think you walked in December or January. You had to have been already working in January. So I think in December you connected with me. And I remember that you had told me how you got started in all of this, and I found it to be really fascinating. So I kind of want you to share that information with everyone else about how you embraced your intuition and started doing this work. So let's start at the very beginning about how you had Mary L as a playmate.
Oh, that's actually interesting. The family story is that when I was a baby, I was the youngest of four, so I was in the playpen a lot, and I would just be gabbering away, and my mother would feel guilty, and she'd go pick me up, and I'd start screaming because I wanted to be back in the playpen. And I realized years later I was talking to my guides. I was talking to Marielle, and then as I was growing up, I started to lose the feeling of her presence because it started to get culturaled out of me. But she was always there. I always saw things and I always knew things and heard things. But I had no one to talk to about it, even though my mother, growing up in rural Poland, was very open to all this. She was also extremely superstitious about any of this. So I had no one to talk to. And it wasn't until we moved when I met my now departed husband, that I found an avenue to really talk to someone about what I was seeing and knowing and sensing. And then we moved to New Mexico and I started taking some trainings, and that just opened it all up. So, but yeah, it started early.
So you said you started training. How long ago was that?
My first training was with a local woman named Ruth Mueller in energetics. It was a healing training, and that was in the 98, 99. So about, 98, 99.
Not to tell how old we are, huh?
Not to tell how old we are, that's correct. But I remember I was doing what she was training us in, and I shared this with Audrey this week, how I was doing this work and I was seeing images and I was seeing colors and I was knowing things about these people that were not part of the class, because the class really opened me up to everything. And Ruth, as amazing of an instructor she is, or was, because she doesn't teach anymore, she did not know. That wasn't what she was training us in, so she didn't have the vocabulary to say, this is what's happening. So I just took it as how she taught me, and I had other trainings and did the same thing. And to be honest, every person I've had who has trained me in a method that has really opened me up. I mean, Ruth Mueller in energetics, and a local person here in intuitive development. I've taken all of her classes in intuitive development in a specific method she has. I've taken, Reiki. I've done a lot of trainings, which I won't necessarily go into all of them, but they've all given me a step in that ladder to go higher and higher and higher and deeper into this work. And now I'm training with you, Michelle, and with Audrey Wilson, the UK. And what that's doing is it's taking what I know here and what I'm fighting here, and it's just yeah, I know. We have to laugh, don't we? Because this
Well,
is
I have to tell you, it's very difficult. There's such a thing as too much training.
yes,
And the hardest thing about any of this is that we think, oh, well, we'll take this class because it sounds so exciting. But what you're doing is you're training under somebody who is not gifted necessarily in what your gifts are. So what I'm trying to say is, and this is what I teach and what we work on, is that as mediums, you can be a physical medium, you can be a psychic surgeon, you can be a medical empath, you can be a trance medium, but I can't train people who don't have mediumship skills to be a medium.
yeah,
And I can't train people to be channels if their gift is not in channeling. So people spend a lot of time, and you're right, it gives them a little bit, but it also creates, I think you kind of hit your head against the wall going, what? You mean this was wrong all this time? And it's created bad habits that we have to go back through and redo.
yes. The good habit is I have my guide Marielle, and she's such an integral part of me. And then in learning, going the deeper with the new training is meeting my other members of my team who are there to assist me. And you're right. A number of years ago, my guides told me, Marielle said, stop taking classes, start using it.
Right, right. Could you imagine how much money you would have saved?
I don't even want to think about it. How much headache I would have saved. But
Well,
I want to give you kudos to you and to Audrey, because I knew 2 or 3 years ago that I was working with the wrong people. And I knew that, and I knew I couldn't work with them anymore. And I knew I needed to be trained by someone who did not know me. And I actually walked into Resident Essentials probably in October, because it's before I broke my hand in November.
oh, that's right. Okay. Time has gotten askew in this virus thing.
It has, and I was totally a pest. I pestered you. Yeah, I did. I'm the youngest of 4, remember?
Right. Oh, I am too.
Okay.
So I totally get it.
Yep. But I knew I was not to be trained by them. And I knew I was to be trained by Audrey, but the time wasn't right until the last 6 months.
Well, do you remember, since now that we're bringing up time, because Audrey was here in October, you and me got to join Audrey in the table with Kevin. Was that not awesome?
I still can't believe we really did that. I still think my mind, again, this brain, keeps saying it was a trick, but it's like, no, it wasn't a trick. I was there. It was so cool.
I can remember even now, I remember Donna saying, I even bent over like this to look because she thought we had clasped the table. And when it went all the way to the side and we were like this, Kevin's hands, here's the table down here, and he was floating on top because he didn't know where the table was because he felt like he was sinking into the table.
Oh, and someone else said, all I saw was this table moving in a sea of butts. I want to embarrass her with her name, but
Right, you better not, because you will hear from it. So everybody exactly how
It was,
you felt that night when Audrey just said, and you grabbed you off the floor.
it's like, I felt extremely honored because I didn't know Audrey that well. I had done the class that you guys had done, and then we did this. So I was extremely honored to have been chosen to be one of the 3 she called up to do this. So that's how I felt.
Yeah, but how did you feel when that energy started moving? I know how I felt. I felt like all of a sudden I was in an altered state. It was just,
You know what? It was an altered state, but it felt natural.
right?
This this is like one of the things I've been aiming towards for, I'm going to say it, since I was, since I was a little baby, but for years, for a long time. And it felt so natural and it felt right.
And it felt like coming home, didn't it?
Yes. Yes.
It's
And
so hard to explain. I know you know this one, but it's so hard to explain to people because and I'm not saying they're training with the wrong person. I'm saying their training is different. But it's like when you're working with a team of right energy, there's endless possibilities.
yes.
And you're so connected in that oneness of consciousness that it is, it can bring tears to my eyes. It still just amazes me to be a part of that. Because you're right, you had just taken our mediumship class that the 3 of us had done. And I guess poor Kevin was the token male on a couple of things because he was the only male in that, other than Bob recording it. But yeah, it was kind of an intense creative process, and that's led us to being, you're working with me for trance. We have Trance Circle, and we got our box all set up. Just I know.
My feet will never touch the ground again.
I worked out of the box with Audrey, and boy, I know, right? I was so incredible. I'll tell you about it later because we don't want to bore everybody with all our little secrets. So anyway, yeah. So we work with that, but you also there's a lot of things that people don't exactly know about you. You're an aromatherapist, you're Reiki practitioner. Are you a master or a Reiki practitioner?
I'm a master.
Okay. And what else do you do besides learning trance and learning you fine-tuning your mediumship skills and all that other good stuff with me and Audrey? What else?
Okay, well, I also, dang, I forgot. I've learned runes. I used to dabble in I Ching when I was in my teen years. I dabbled in that. I dabble in things, but the things I'm most proud of, I feel I'm the best at, is connecting with my team and my guides and having the messages come through. And there's a couple of really good meditations that my guides do give to other people, and then the aromatherapy. And I'm a reflexologist. And
Now, when you say reflexologist, are you a certified reflexologist? Because I know there's a huge difference.
yes, there is.
Somebody who just massages feet and somebody who's a true reflexologist.
I have been trained in the true reflexology of just the feet reflex points and working those reflex points.
Oh, you're going to get phone calls, girl. Everybody's going to go, smell my feet. My feet.
Well, the good thing about it is because I love using oils, a lot of oils are kind of stinky. They're very pungent, we'll say. But the therapeutic value of them is so amazing. So I can apply them to the feet. And that way the person's getting the feet reflex points worked and the benefit of a very healing oil that might help them with whatever they're dealing with, emotionally or physically.
So I know during your day job, you also work with the dyslexia program with kids.
Yes.
Aren't you exhausted from that and then trying to do a reading? And how do you combine and multitask both worlds? Because that's a rough one.
It is. Luckily, I only work part-time as a dyslexia therapist. I have 6 students, and I work at with a nonprofit organization. So I work part-time, and then on my days, I only work 3 days a week, and I really work very part-time. But dyslexia therapy is extremely intense because I'm one-on-one with the children. And then the other days of the week, I do my mediumship and healing work, and I work at Resident Essentials and at a few other locations in town as well as privately. And I do get tired. This last month and a half or so have been nice because I have been having a chance to rest and get deeper into my training. So, yeah. So
Ask Tina if there's any questions thus far. No questions thus far. That's okay. If they have questions, they'll send in a little header. So, if we were to say your availability, because we're still all working remote, and we're going to continue working remote. Even after we're allowed to go back, we're going to work at the center, but we're going to be also working remote. How do people get with you if they wanted a reading now, or if they wanted healing work, things done? How would you?
Well, right now I'm not taking, I'm not doing sessions, I'm not doing readings. I've been instructed.
But you will be, so we're not going to mention that part, okay? Because this video you can use for later on. People will watch it and you'll be back to work already. So we don't want to say that you're not.
No, I'm not. I am. I'm working.
I'm working.
Yes. You can go to the residentessentials.com webpage, and you can click on my name, Annette, and then that will take you to my calendar page, and you can, with 24-hour notice, schedule an appointment. You can also preferably text me at 505-321-6635, and I also have an email page, but just those 2 methods are probably the best way to get a hold of me. And then, so that's what you would do. My days currently to be at Resident Essentials are Wednesdays from noon to 5. And I will be, in the future soon, be doing phone or even Facebook Live, Facebook Messenger sessions. So you can contact me through the Resident Essentials website or through my texting, and we can schedule an appointment, and then we'll go from there.
So I know that we just talked about it this morning, but we're breaking the news with you live and well and fine. We're going to be doing a summit. Excited to do the summit?
I am, I'm really getting excited to do the summit. My team has been just spoon feeding me little pieces of information that I'll be talking about. They gave me the title of my talk. And it's really, I'm actually getting chills talking about it. It's
so what's the title of your talk?
My title, I don't have it written down in front of me. I should have, but
but I threw you a curve. We went left on you. But that's okay. We had fun doing it.
Yeah, the concept of it is because the medium aspect is what our ancestors, like your lineage of ancestors, what your ancestors want you to know, and connecting with them, and how through this time connecting with them is going to give you hope and strength and that knowledge that you are so loved and so important right now. So it's connecting with why it's important to connect with our ancestors, so we can have that hope and that
Warm and
that
fuzzy?
yes, instead of that gut wrenching fear, because we don't want to go there at
No, we
all.
don't. We don't. We really want to keep people out of fear, because what you fear, you draw near. What you emanate,
Yes,
create.
yes. So I'm really excited for it. I thank Johanna for coming up with the idea, and I thank you so much for being supportive of it and encouraging all of us to step out of a comfort zone, which is, the pants that don't fit. No, but stepping out of a comfort to this, because this
Yoga
is not
pants.
my pants. Yeah. No one will know.
Well, I'm excited to do it because I think that Johanna came up with a brilliant idea, and I'm so glad that I have the practitioners that engage each other, support each other, but also have the freedom to come to me and say, hey, what about this? Sometimes I'm like, that sounds like a lot of work. Go ahead, you do it. That's what I did to Johanna. Oh, that sounds like a lot of work. Can you organize it? Because I can't do it. And she graciously accepted that challenge.
With a baby, a nursing baby too.
Right. And we're hurting, getting a bunch of psychics and healers together is like herding cats.
It is. It is.
And more power to her, because whew, I know Jeannie must be listening right now, giggling to herself, because she has the same issue with all of us kind of keeping us focused. But hey, we're loved.
Well, it's been a journey, and interesting on this day that we're announcing the summit. My brother-in-law lives in Hawaii, and when he was married 20 years ago, it rained, and I thought, oh, you poor thing. And he says, no, the rain clears away the old and it brings in the new. And I think that's very auspicious for this day of announcing the summit, because all that old negative energy is going to be washed away with the rain. I also think it's cool that my interview is on a rainy day too. So, but
But it's sun shining for me.
oh, it's cloudy and rainy out here in the East Mountains.
Oh, you lucky girl. I smelled
Yeah.
a little bit this morning, but that's all I got.
I also
Okay,
may I
go
mention
ahead.
my
Go ahead. Say that again.
rates. May I mention my rates at all?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So it's really important in this time that we all support each other, and that means not only Michelle supporting the people who work at Resident Essentials, and us who work at Resident Essentials supporting each other and speaking out for each other and promoting one another. It's also important for me as a practitioner, me as a reader, to support you as a client. And my regular rates, I'm basically putting those aside for I don't know how long. It might be September, October. I don't know. But my regular rates are aside, and my current rates are going to be more of a sliding scale. And I'm not going to say, well, prove to me you can't pay this rate. It's going to be, you will have the sliding scale. So an hour rate, and I have to look at what I wrote, for a 60-minute session will be between $40 and $60. And then for a 30-minute session, between 20 and 30. So basically, I cut my rates. That's a good cut. But what I really want is for people who are in a place of seeking answers, and just maybe needing or wishing to know that they are safe and protected and their ancestors are with them, to come and have a reading. And because when you have a reading, often a client leaves knowing they're not alone. And that's really,
Right.
and I don't want to turn anyone away, but I also have to pay my bills. And so I do need to charge, but it's a sliding scale. So when you make that appointment, when you come to me, you have that opportunity to pay the smaller amount or a larger amount.
Well, and I'm sure everybody appreciates that, because I know that it is hard. It's really hard We know that there's lack. That's why I do the curbside readings twice a week. Because I want people to know that they're appreciated and they're needed, they can get answers. And you're absolutely right. It's very important that we support all of that for everyone who comes through Resonant Essentials and through our life. It's really it's an opportunity for us to embrace a new norm and
Yeah.
to really recreate for ourselves what our future is going to hold. And we'll get more into all of that, I'm sure, if they'll watch the summit. So I'm excited for the summit. I want everybody to come and join. We're going to be breaking the news on that a little more fully. You'll get all the details today or tomorrow as to times, dates, locations, how to sign up if you want to participate. But for now, I want to thank you, Annette, my heart to yours, for such a great interview and a great reminiscing time of our table tipping.
Welcome. Anytime.
I know, right? So if you guys want to get in touch with Annette, what you're going to do is you're going to go to resonantessentials.com. You're going to click on the practitioner page, scroll down until you find find her picture. And then you'll click on her picture or the bio. It'll say read more. You can read about her and then schedule. Now we have it set up because, even though we are, you click and you can schedule, we could actually do it in one day, but they don't nobody checks their emails continuously. So we've got the calendar set up for you to schedule for within the next 2 weeks. If you want same day availability, make sure that you send her a text message. She has a better chance of responding to text than she does the phone. So send her a text message that you'd like to get set up. And Annette, thank you so much. Mwah! My heart to yours.
Thank you. I love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Yeah, I don't know where my live is. Okay.
Oh, just smile.
Just laugh.